Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Michelle Beck, and this is Breast Friends Cancer Support Network. I am a two-time and 9-year survivor of breast cancer. I am the programs assistant at Breast Friends of Oregon. And when I have time, you can find me on social media or my blog, I Never Liked Pink. So today is one of my favorite types of shows. I'm talking to a woman who has battled cancer and come out on the other side stronger and decided to create an organization to help others. So my guest is Michelle Stravitz. She is the CEO and co-founder of Two Unstoppable. One of their taglines is making fitness connections. And that really says so much about the organization. They want women who have experienced a cancer diagnosis to move their bodies and exercise. And they have found a way to create this organization which focuses on exercises, especially made for those who've gone through a cancer diagnosis, but also has social support. So fitness was always a part of Michelle's life, but it really wasn't until she went through a diagnosis of triple negative breast cancer, which can scare even the best of us. But 7 years ago, and she has come out on the other side so much stronger, and fitness took on a whole new meaning for her. So we're going to get into that. So Michelle, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yes. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself, the non-cancer side, because we'll get into all that.
Sure. Well, I live in Fairfax, Virginia, which is a suburb of Washington, D.C. I am the proud mother of 4 young adult children. They're all in their 20s now.
That's impossible. You look like you're 40.
My youngest just turned 21. So
wow.
Yes, I do have 4 young adults. I love this phase of having young adult children. So I'm enjoying that. They're scattered all over in different cities. I also have a very small dog at our house, and I live with my husband in Fairfax.
Well, thank you. I am also enjoying the pleasure of having young adult children. My husband came with 4, so I have 4 bonus kids, 17 to 23. I'm really bad on the dates, but we took 2 of the middle ones and their significant others to an escape room a few weeks ago. So the 6 of us, we had such a blast. And now that they're not teenagers anymore, they're so pleasant.
Those can be really fun, and it's a fun family activity, working together and trying to solve a problem. I love that.
Yes. We had a great time. So let's talk about your cancer diagnosis, which started, and at the time, I'm sure you were not thinking about, I'm going to start an organization later. It's getting through the cancer. So tell us about your diagnosis and what treatment you went through, please.
Absolutely. So it was almost 7 years ago, June of 2015. I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. And a lot of us say, it's the one you don't want to get. But it's a very aggressive form of breast cancer. And so fortunately, I had excellent medical care. And within a week, I started very aggressive treatment for breast cancer. I did 20 weeks of chemotherapy, 4 different types, and then took a little time, to recover, and then did a lumpectomy, a large lumpectomy with oncoplasty. And then I had 30 sessions of radiation. So again, 9 months of very aggressive treatment. On the other hand, I'm still here.
Yes. And it's funny, at the time when you're going through it, it's all you can do to literally get up every day and deal with your treatment and your family. And it's exhausting mentally and physically. But you made it through. And now we look back on it and you're like, okay, well, I made it through. It was awful, but it wasn't so bad. I try to tell that to people who are recently diagnosed, and that like there is hope. You will get back to a state of somewhat a normal life-ish.
That is very true. I actually counsel a lot of women who are diagnosed, particularly women who are diagnosed with triple negative, because it feels a little different. Mm-hmm. And women are often sent to me both through, formal cancer support organizations as well as informally. And I always tell women, like, you will get through this one day at a time, one step at a time. Just keep moving forward. And we all have to be patient with our bodies.
And it is, we were talking prior to the show about cliches but it does sound so cliche that time does heal, but it really does. And just putting one foot in front of the other. And that leads us to one foot in front of the other, moving your body. Tell us about Two Unstoppable and how that came about.
So it's really something that came out of my own personal experience. When I was going through chemotherapy, and that was my first treatment regimen, my oncologist, I was one of the lucky ones whose oncologist told me to keep moving. She said that I really did need to do some exercise during treatment. Might have to do it a little more gently, but I should keep moving. She actually said that the more I move, the less fatigued I would be. And for those of us who have been through any kind of cancer journey, cancer-related fatigue is tremendous. It is both a result of the treatment, but also a result of the worry, the lack of sleep, and sometimes even the steroids that then keep you up at night. So there are many, many reasons why people suffer from cancer-related fatigue, and exercise is the number one treatment for that. So from the very beginning, my doctor was telling me that I should try to keep moving. And I was lucky enough to have a cancer support center nearby that had some exercise classes that were specifically designed for cancer patients. Why is that important? Number one, because I was worried about germs during chemotherapy. So pre-COVID, the cancer community was always worried about germs. So I didn't feel comfortable going into a regular gym or even a regular yoga class where I was next to really close to other people and potentially susceptible to, getting a cold, which could have been dangerous for me during chemotherapy. So first of all, I was going to a place that felt safe in that way. And then secondly, we have side effects and we have impacts of our treatment. And so I felt a lot safer working in a place with an instructor who was certified in cancer exercise. So that's another important element, that there are instructors, there are fitness professionals who are certified to work with cancer patients. So for those reasons, I was lucky to be able to access classes like that. And sometimes it was just a gentle exercise class, like a yoga class. Sometimes it was a walk with a friend, but I did whatever I could because I'm a rule follower. So I listened to my doctor and I tried to keep moving as much as I could. And what I recognized was not only that it did help fight some of the side effects from chemotherapy, it also made me feel a little more normal. It made me feel a little bit more in control. And it also encouraged me to be out there and get some social support. So for example, one of the things that I experienced was I had a friend who had gone through the cancer journey. She'd been diagnosed about 3 years before me and had come through it, as you say, come to the other end. And she would come and walk with me occasionally. So I was a little worried about walking by myself, because what if I didn't feel well and then I was out there by myself. So I really wanted people to walk with me. So she would come and we would walk. And then she could mentor me. She would give me support in understanding, what is it like to have a lumpectomy? What was her surgery like? What was the recovery like? And then what's it like to do radiation? And how does that look, going every single day? So again, we sort of walked and talked and provided both that motivation and support to exercise, but also that social support going through that process. Exercise also helps to fight anxiety and depression. So, when you're worried, if you just go take a walk, you can feel a little better. So I personally had that experience of just knowing how beneficial it could be to walk with a buddy. I actually ran into another old friend or someone I had known from my kids' school while I was going through treatment. I ran into her at a cancer support class, and it turned out that she was also going through treatment. And so she and I also set up a time to walk regularly. So every Friday morning, she came to my house, we would walk, the two of us and my dog, and we would talk. And then we were sort of peer to peer, going through it together and talking about the life's milestones that we had to go through, picking a wig for her daughter's wedding or picking a hat for my daughter's graduation. So we were kind of going through, and we recognized again the power of combining that social support, that buddy support with exercise. So a lot of it came out of my own personal experience. And then when I was done with treatment, I attended a whole host of webinars and classes on survivorship. So I was suddenly in this new phase, which is not easy for those of us who have survivorship.
Survivorship can be just as hard as actual treatment, because you go through your treatments, your doctors and your team do what they're supposed to do. And then they say, okay, bye-bye, we'll see you in 6 months. And you're like, well, what do I do now? I have all these side effects. My body is different. My emotions are different. My heart is different. How do I get through this? And I talk about that all the time. Survivorship is hard, and
We're
finding,
all trying to adjust to a new
yes,
normal and also say, well, what can I do to reduce my chance of a recurrence? Because that's what we're all worried about.
yes.
What can I do to increase my chances of survival now that the doctors aren't doing that aggressive treatment anymore? So during that phase, I went to a whole bunch of classes. One was on nutrition. One was on fighting chemo brain. One was on exactly what you talked about, the emotional roller coaster of survivorship. So I went to all these different seminars, and in every single one of them, they told us to exercise. And I remember that really struck me, how important it is to keep moving and to exercise after cancer. So that's when I started to learn how important it was. And that's really when I made it a priority in my life. So I recognized that it would help me recover from my side effects, it would actually lower my risk of recurrence. Women with breast cancer who exercise regularly have a 40 to 50% lower chance of recurrence. They have 40% better survival rates typically. And that's based on a whole host of studies. And it's actually recommended on the American Cancer Society website, to try to exercise 150 minutes a week. So what I started to learn was how important it was, how much it could make a difference, how much it could help me. And so again, I made it a priority in my life, and I found my own sort of regimen and schedule of what worked for me. In the meantime, I had also, as you said, survived a life-threatening illness, and I wanted to do something meaningful. I wanted to give back. I was so grateful and lucky to have in my area exercise classes for cancer patients. And so I got together with a friend, the same friend one of the friends that used to walk with me, Ilana Gamerman, and we started talking about how to help other women. And so we said that we realized most women are not getting the exercise they need after a diagnosis. Not all of them are hearing it from their doctors. Not all of them know how to access it or have access to those classes. And frankly, it's hard.
It's hard. And it's hard to get motivated because, especially after treatment, you're tired, your body hurts, you have a variety of potential side effects, and staying on the couch is a lot easier than getting up and moving our bodies. And that is the worst thing that we can do. So tell us about okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. This is my cancer brain going, there's so many questions going on in my head. So you and Ilana, you're realizing that there's just not things out there for most women. So keep going with the two unstoppable, how you got there.
Sure. Thank you. So we realized that most women were not getting the exercise they need. They didn't know they needed to do it. They didn't know how to access it. And frankly, they needed motivation, support, and accountability to get moving. As you said, it's hard, and it's hard to motivate yourself. And frankly, years ago, they used to tell cancer patients to just rest, just stay on the couch and rest during treatment. Now they're telling us to get moving. So we started talking, and we formed Two Unstoppable. And the reason we have the number 2 is because at the core of what we created was an online fitness buddy matching program. So the experience I had in the fitness buddy, the walking buddy, someone to get up and get me to come out in the morning, right? If my friend wasn't coming on Friday morning, I probably wouldn't have gone. Or if I had gone, I would have walked for 10 minutes, not 40 minutes, because I had someone with me to pass the time and to encourage me to go further. So we realized the power of a fitness buddy. And so at the core, we started with this free online fitness buddy matching program. And so that particular thing that Two Unstoppable offers is literally, it works like a dating service. Women who are interested in getting a fitness buddy can go online, fill out a profile. And then once they've been approved, because we do have sort of a safety approval process, they can then search and look at the other women in the system and say, oh, she has a similar diagnosis to me, or she has similar fitness goals as me, or she lives in my zip code, or she's in the same phase of life as me. She's going through the same treatment as me. And so they can find someone that meets the criteria important to them. And then they can message a buddy and try to, buddy up for fitness. So we have women who actually exercise together, like they live in the same zip code or the same area. We also have a lot of women, we have women signed up from all over the country who are exercising virtually with someone, or simply providing that motivation and accountability to exercise. So saying, today I did this, what did you do today? And so or some walk and talk together on the phone. I've done that. So there's a lot of different ways that women are buddying up. So that's one of the things we started offering. And that was back in 2018 that we launched our online buddy system. So we're actually, this month, we marked 4 years since we launched the online fitness buddy matching program.
Congratulations.
You birth of Two Unstoppable.
You guys were ahead of your times using the virtual aspect, which we all really had to transition to 2 years ago. So it wasn't that, I mean, wasn't that you guys had to change that much. You already had these programs in place and were able to move forward with that. So, and you are a nonprofit, but there are obviously things that you have to pay for various, that you guys on the back end need to pay for, because there's only so much, financial support you can give of your own volition at certain times.
That's right. Yeah, we were very lucky in finding incredible partners in developing Two Unstoppable, and we've had the benefit of a lot of pro bono services that have been provided to us. We do rely on private donations to support our work and some grant, support. So we do have some private foundations that provide us grants or organizations. So we do, that is true. We have been offering this online fitness buddy matching program at no cost to women since 2018. And since then, and we can talk about it further, we've offered a whole host of other offerings to help women get moving. And they all combine the concept of oncology exercise with social support. The fitness buddy matching program in particular, if you read the research, there's tons of research that show that a fitness buddy will help you to maintain a fitness regimen, to work out a little bit harder, to push yourself, to keep it up, right? That is definitely, there's tons of research on that. And there's actually lots of ways to find a fitness buddy. There's even apps that do that. There are also lots of opportunities to find someone else who has gone through the cancer experience and will provide peer-to-peer mentoring. There are lots of, cancer buddy programs out there, but there was actually no program that put the two things together. So there were no programs where you could find a fitness buddy, but specifically a woman who had gone through the cancer journey. And that is something that's particularly unique to Unstoppable. The only other organization doing something similar, and again, we were lucky enough to partner with them. There's a researcher at the University of Toronto, and she had developed a project called Active Match, where after all of her research, trying to figure out behavioral changes for women who have had cancer, who are looking to exercise, she came up with this fitness buddy matching program as well. So we do partner with them, and we stand on the shoulders of their research.
Great minds think alike. And you're providing accountability is so important, especially when trying to exercise, because if you have someone who's outside waiting for you or waiting for your call, you're going to get off the couch and you're going to move. Really quickly before our break, tell us your website and how people can donate on your website if they want to.
So the website is www.2unstoppable. So it's 2unstoppable.org. And there's a donate button right on the website.
Perfect.
But it's also where you can find out about all of our programs.
Great. And we're going to talk more about those programs after break. So listeners, stay with us. We have a lot more to talk about and programs to dig into with Michelle. So you can go on their website and donate, but you can also help donate to Breast Friends to ensure that women don't go through cancer alone. You can text BF Radio to 41444, or you can donate on our website. On our website, breastfriends.org, you can also check out our patient programs to see what we can do for you. So stay with us. We'll be back in a minute. Hello again. I'm Michelle Beck, and my guest is Michelle Stravitz, CEO and co-founder of 2unstoppable.org, whose mission is to improve cancer outcomes and provide fitness programs and connection for those who have gone through it. So Michelle, we've been talking a lot about how you started Two Unstoppable, but I kind of want to take a step back for a second on really the overall benefits of exercise, even before, but especially after cancer.
So I love to talk about this. Thank you for asking. Look, the general population, we all know we're supposed to exercise, right? So one of the things we often say is, exercise is good for everyone, and we should all do it more. But this is especially true after a cancer diagnosis. And this is a time in our lives when we're looking to take some control, to help ourselves, to improve our own outcomes and our own quality of life. So there's a lot of ways that exercise can benefit us. First of all, there's been a lot of studies that literally show that exercise changes our body's chemistry and makes it a less hospitable environment for cancer to grow. So exercise has been shown to prevent certain types of cancers, but once you've been diagnosed, there are lots of statistics that show that it helps to reduce recurrence and, again, improve survival. And there are certain cancers that have been researched more in that area or less, but in all cases, it can benefit us. Then there's the side effects that we go through, that we experience based on our treatments. Now, we have to do the treatments. They're going to save our lives. But many of us who have been through this know that there are some side effects that are difficult during treatment, and then there are some that linger for years afterwards. And we're not always so aware of that when we enter into treatment, because we have to do it.
Because we're doing the treatment because we want the cancer out of our bodies. We want to save our lives. And for me, I went through 2 different cancer diagnoses. I didn't have chemo either time, but my side effects come from the medication that I'm on. And literally, I have all of the listed side effects, and it really makes it hard for me to move.
Yes. So some of these treatments make it more difficult to move. They also make it, it's also a motivation to try to find a way to move effectively and safely. Treatment can impact our bone density. Exercise combats that and helps to improve our bone density. And that is so important. For me, chemo threw me right through menopause. And then I had bone density issues afterwards that I had never had before. So exercise helps to combat that. Treatment impacts our muscles. So one of the statistics that I found very alarming is that in the course of 10 years of aging, all else being equal, we might lose 3 or 4 pounds of muscle mass in that course of 10 years. You can lose that much muscle mass in 6 months of chemotherapy. So when I finished chemotherapy, I remember there was just like nothing left in my arms, muscle wise. So again, we have to do some sort of strength or resistance training to build back up that muscle. And you can build it back. Never as fast as you want, but you can build it back. So it's important to build back our muscles. That actually also helps us fight illnesses when our muscles are healthy. Of course, we talked earlier about cancer-related fatigue. Exercise is the #1 treatment for cancer-related fatigue in so many ways. You will actually feel better if you get moving. And some days you can't. Some days you can barely walk to the mailbox, and that's okay. But on the days when you can get moving, it's great to try to move a little bit, even if it just means taking a 10-minute walk. We also, many of us who have done radiation or had surgeries, we have issues with tissue tightness and flexibility issues and mobility issues. It's important to get our bodies moving and to keep moving. I have lingering tightness on my left side where I had my treatment, that for the rest of my life, I've got to move that part of my upper body every day. My surgeon said you'll have to move it every day to keep your mobility. So exercise helps to improve and get back our mobility. For those of us who have been through chemotherapy, there's the illustrious chemo brain. Exercise has been shown to combat chemo brain and then help recover from it. So anyone who's having cognitive issues or brain fog, exercise can help with that. It gets our, yep, me too.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it was one of those things that I just didn't realize was going to happen, but no question about it, I felt differently afterwards. So I exercise to help combat my chemo brain. It can help with digestive issues. It can help with all sorts of physical manifestations of our treatment. So exercise, again, helps to combat and help you recover from many, many side effects of treatment. Now, in addition, many people, many survivors experience anxiety and depression after a cancer diagnosis, very often during that early survivorship phase. It's a tough time. And exercise has also been shown to combat anxiety and depression. So again, there are so many different benefits. from like a macro level in terms of those percentages of survival rates and recurrence rates lowering, in terms of impacting your body's chemistry as a environment that is not hospitable to tumor growth. And then again, all of these specific side effects. And the truth is that people say, what's the best reason to exercise? So for all the things I just talk about, whichever one of those motivates you to get off the couch, that's your reason. Each of us just needs to find our why.
I love that. It's in the notes. And when I post clips of this, find your why. And you just gave 10 reasons as to the possible whys. And for those of us who've been through cancer, they're all so, so important. So what makes your program different than other exercise programs out there?
So that's a great question. First of all, one of the things that we do is we work with certified cancer exercise specialists. So we work with people who have been trained to work with cancer patients. There are specific trainings in the yoga world. There's yoga for cancer. There's special training in Pilates. There's special training for doing personal training or regular fitness classes. And so we work with fitness professionals who are trained to work with cancer patients. It's the oncology exercise space. Why is this important? Again, safety. You have to know how to work with someone who has had a port. You need to know how to modify if someone is at risk for lymphedema. You need to know how to work with someone who has neuropathy, and so on and so forth. We hear from so many women, yes, my doctor told me to exercise. So I went to the gym and I told the trainer there who was showing me how to use the equipment that I have neuropathy. So I'm a little bit worried about holding the weights. And the trainer didn't even know what neuropathy was. Right. Or they said, my surgeon told me I'm at risk for lymphedema, but I should exercise. And the trainer didn't know what lymphedema was. Well, they were scared and they never went back. You need someone who understands your risks, your vulnerabilities, and what you need to do to recover. So there's the American Cancer Society has very specific recommendations for people who have had a cancer diagnosis. Generally speaking, 150 minutes of exercise a week, including a couple of days that have some sort of strength or resistance training. Now, when I say that, people get, oh my God, 150 minutes, I can't do it. Let me tell you, that is not all or nothing. Every 2 minutes counts. So if you get up and move for 2 minutes, that counts. And if you walk for 10 minutes, that counts. So 2 minutes or 10 minutes is better than 0 today. So anything you can do, even if you can't meet the 150 minutes a week, to me at the beginning, that was very, very intimidating, but whatever you can do to get moving. So we are all about helping women both with this education, right? So understanding the things I just talked about, but also motivating them, helping to provide support in doing that and provide accountability. So we actually have what we call our secret sauce is oncology exercise. We are women-centric. So we serve any woman who's had any cancer at any time in her journey, but we do specifically focus on women. Most of what we offer is on the virtual environment. So we're offering Zoom classes and online programming. So it's, again, oncology exercise, women-centric, virtual environment, and we're always combining social support. So whether it's the buddy system or group cohesiveness in a class or a meetup where we talk about, how we can motivate ourselves or ideas to keep moving during a pandemic, it's always combining those 4 things. And that is one of the elements that's really unique about us.
I love that.
Together.
And I saw something yesterday on social media. We're going to get more into your programs, but one thing that I saw yesterday was 2 minutes of marching. So one of your coaches, Stacy, and I believe it is you do 2 minutes at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays because of the 2. Correct. And I love that. And that would be Eastern time. So I saw it probably earlier than that, but literally like anybody can get up and march for 2 minutes. And that's one of my hurdles is like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. But really, you can find 2 minutes or 10 minutes to do it. And that is something that I need to be better about after I'm going to do that. But having your organization with those little snippets and your other programs is really, really impressive. So I know from looking at your website and the materials we've discussed previously, tell us about 2 Unstoppable Strong.
So Two Unstoppable Strong is a program that we are incredibly proud of. It is one of the, if I can say, a blessing of the pandemic. It was a program that we were able to launch during the fall of 2020 because women had started to become comfortable with exercising on the virtual platform. So that enabled us to provide an offering, again, an exercise class that could be accessible to anyone from anywhere on the virtual platform. So Two Unstoppable Strong is a program that is a small group, progressive, strength and flexibility training program that is offered for women who have completed treatment within the past year. So that first really important year of survivorship. So if they've completed active treatment, you can still be taking an aromatase inhibitor or some sort of maintenance medication, but as long as it's not significantly impacting your life and you're able to move on, you do have to get a physician clearance in order to participate. But it's a 10-week program during that first year after active treatment has completed. And the class meets once a week on Zoom as a group. It's small group, so it's limited to 10 women, and each woman does a personal assessment with the instructor prior to the beginning of the class. That allows the trainer, who's again, oncology exercise certified, to personalize within the group setting. So if you have specific risks, she can modify the exercises for you. So first, she has a curriculum she's using, but she does customize it for the 10 women in the class. And then within that, she's able to give each individual participant unique modifications as they need them. So depending on what their specific treatment was, their specific recovery process was, and their specific physical needs are, she can again personalize within the group setting. So they meet once a week on Zoom. They're given a recording, so they are asked to do the same class once or twice more during the week. And they're also given some recommended walking regimen, so you can keep walking in between the classes. Every woman who participates is assigned a buddy within the class. So you've got that buddy support, as well as the group itself creates their own cohesive, supportive network, and they can motivate each other. Some of the groups actually meet together on Zoom to watch the recording. So they'll exercise together virtually on their own. Some of them even have walking challenges that they do, or they'll report to each other, I walked this long today, or I walked this many steps. It's very much about what you can do, and it's not competitive at all. So it's an amazing program that meets you where you are. It helps you launch into fitness in a healthy, safe way, and you get 10 weeks of really effective training from a specialized trainer. This has been incredibly powerful and effective. The beautiful thing, again, is it's available to any woman across the country. They're offered at different times. It's all on our website under www.unstoppable.org under Move With Us. And that's where you can find this program. Now, in June of 2021, after having offered this for almost a year, we actually launched another version of Two Unstoppable Strong that is for women living with metastatic cancer. So that's a population that is also often underserved in the exercise community because there are many considerations when they exercise. So this group is limited to 6 women. It's a 6-week class, and it is targeted for women living with metastatic cancer. But once again, it's still small group progressive with strength and flexibility components. It is personalized within the group setting. And again, it incorporates that social support. So it's working with our secret sauce, oncology exercise, virtual environment, women-centric, and social support. Again, it's been a very effective program. We do have a researcher from Rutgers University doing an evaluation of the program. So we have a formal research evaluation going on, and women can optionally participate in that so that we can study and improve the program.
That's amazing. And I really appreciate the metastatic cancer program. It's such an underserved community, and more women are being diagnosed metastatic and younger, and women who are in their 20s and 30s and 40s who may have been very active. And I'm sure they think, oh, well, I have metastatic cancer, I can't move now. But it's so important to help longevity and attitude and so many things about really making the best possible cancer outcome. So much appreciated. Sorry about that. My little stomach.
We've gotten great feedback from the women who have participated, again, expressing that they didn't think anything like this existed for them. So they're very grateful that it's available to them. They feel safe, they feel better, and they just love that there's social support incorporated into it.
Now, really quick before break, I want to talk about something you mentioned before was lymphedema. So what are concerns about exercise and how can women who are experiencing lymphedema still move their bodies?
So each woman is unique, and many women who have been diagnosed specifically and treated for breast cancer are at risk for lymphedema. 95% of women who are at risk or have been treated with something that would cause a risk for lymphedema can still exercise safely. And in most cases, it is actually important and can actually prevent them from getting lymphedema. But you have to work with a cancer exercise specialist who's trained in doing things safely. So they know how to prevent you from putting too much pressure on your hands or your wrists or your arms. They might, for example, do a plank or a push-up differently for someone who's at risk for lymphedema. They'll, again, always get a physician release so that your physician is guiding you on what is safe. And many women will exercise with a sleeve for an extra precaution.
Perfect. And if you need a sleeve, you should always check out Lymphedivas. I think they have the cutest sleeves, but totally non-promoted. But if you want to sponsor me, Lymphedimas, please do. So we do need to take another quick break. So listeners, if you would like to be my guest or share your warrior story with me, you can email me at michellebeck@breastfriends.org. We'll be back in a minute. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Michelle, and my guest is also Michelle Stravitz, CEO and co-founder of Two Unstoppable. So Michelle, we've talked about some of your programs, the Fitness Buddy, the Strong, the Move With Us, but what I know there's more. So tell us what else you offer.
Yes, thanks for asking. I love talking about everything that we offer women. And one of the reasons we offer a whole host of different kinds of programs is because there's no one size fits all, right? There's no one type of exercise that works for everyone. There's no one class that works for everyone. There's no one time of day that works for everyone. So we try to provide a lot of different offerings. We want to be a leading provider of oncology exercise programming with social support, so every woman with a cancer diagnosis can access the tools she needs. So again, we offer a whole variety of opportunities. One of the things that we've started in 2021 was a 21-day fitness challenge. So every month we have our fitness director, who's a cancer exercise specialist, curates a 21-day fitness challenge. You get it every single day. There's a suggestion of what to do. There's often a couple of different levels. So if you're feeling tired today, you can do it on the little lesser side. And if you're feeling a little energetic today, you can do a little more. And you can always modify within that for yourself. So we do these challenges. You're given every day. It often takes 21 days to create a habit, but it creates this environment where you think of yourself as someone who exercises every day, even if the challenge just takes a few minutes. So sometimes the exercises that we're given just take 5 minutes. Sometimes it's suggesting how much you can walk each day. Sometimes it's cardio, upper body, lower body, planks, walking, whatever it is. Each month it's a different theme. And if you miss a day, there's still a few more days left in the month where you can finish it up. So it's okay, right? If there's a day when you just can't do it, so you make it up. So we have these 21-day fitness challenges. We even have like a little chat group that if you sign up, you can be part of that, and people support each other. Like, I did it today. How about you? Who's doing it? Did you find it hard? Or sometimes women will send pictures of themselves doing it or pictures of themselves walking. So each month we have a different themed challenge, and women sign up and participate. Every challenge comes with supplementary videos. So if there's an exercise that she's telling us to do that day, there'll be a video of how to do it or recommendations of how to get it done. So that's a really nice way that some women have found to get themselves moving, as you said, just a little bit at a time every single day. And like I said, every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes counts. And one of the things that it does, again, is to think of it as one of the mantras that I say is, what are you doing for exercise today? What can I do to move my body today? Whatever it is. And if you sort of get into the mindset of thinking about that every day, it can be very helpful to again, create a habit of exercise.
I'm definitely jumping on board on that one because I need someone to tell me what to do. Because if the odd chance that I actually have time, I'm like, well, I don't know what I want to do. And then I'll end up doing some other project around my house or something on my computer. And I end up not exercising because I don't have a guide or motivation. I mean, I know I should, but that doesn't mean I'm going to. So I need that accountability. So I'm going to go sign up for all the things when we're done here.
You should take a look at the challenges. They're super fun. And again, they combine that exercise with social support, because you can sign up for the chat group and be seeing, when you see that someone else did it today, you're kind of, oh, I got to fit it in today. I want to be able to say that too. So we have found that for some women, those challenges with the social support can be incredibly effective. And it, turns into this whole fun group that we, talk to. We also offer throughout every month, again, virtually on Zoom, a whole host of drop-in exercise classes. So they range from yoga for cancer. We offer a Pilates class. We offer a Zumba class. We offer actually 2 Zumba classes. We offer a bar class, and we're about to introduce Dance Party, which is a dance class set to music. These are basically offered, each type is offered typically once a month. And the idea is for women to have the opportunity to try new modalities of exercise in a safe, effective way that's easy to access. So if you've never done Zumba, you can try it and you can know it's safe for you with cancer. And then if you love it, you can go sign up on your own and do more Zumba classes, or if yoga for cancer is your thing, or if bar is your thing. So it gives women a chance to try different forms of exercise and figure out which one works for them. And again, they're always taught by someone who's experienced with the cancer population, and it's with other women who have gone through that experience as well. You register for the class, you get the Zoom link, and you can show up. So those are a nice offering. And again, we are always building our schedule, and it's all available through our website. We also do a monthly newsletter that keeps women informed. So for many women, knowledge is power. So we share important articles, we share blogs, we share all the events that are going on, we share news in the cancer exercise world. We always share the challenges in that newsletter and tips for working out with your buddy. So we do provide a monthly newsletter. All you have to do is give us your email. We never sell or share the emails with anyone else. But again, it's an opportunity to stay informed about Two Unstoppables offerings. We also do virtual meetups. So typically once a month, towards the end of the month, on a Sunday evening, we will do a meetup. It is not just a regular support group. We do focus on the topic of exercise. We will help to give each other ideas. During the pandemic, people were sharing ideas of how to keep moving in their own apartments. There are like videos for walking where you're looking at a trail, but you're actually marching in place in your own space, or other ideas for staying active during a pandemic. We've talked about, we've had speakers to talk about books they've published, or we've had physical therapists talk about mobility recommendations. So we often have a guest speaker. We've had physicians come as guest speakers. We've had researchers come as guest speakers, and then other survivors who have had extraordinary experience in the exercise world have come as guest speakers. So we encourage people to join our meetups. Anyone can come. Often it's the first time they've encountered Two Unstoppable, and we always do introductions. So again, we're helping to build a community of women looking to stay active together. And last, we also have a blog. I know you have your blog. We try to blog occasionally about the topic of exercise. And one of my favorite blogs that I wrote was about the joy of movement, and how movement not only can provide a joyful experience, but movement actually creates more connection. So not only does social support help us move, right? Like if that person shows up to walk with you, you're going to do it. But walking helps us connect with other people. And that can be very important because a cancer diagnosis can be isolating. And we need to connect with other women. I think that's what Breast Friends is all about.
Just really showing that you are not the only one is huge. So you've mentioned this whole host of programs that you have in different ways to get involved with Two Unstoppable. But what is the best exercise for someone who's gone through cancer treatment?
So with all the ideas I just gave you and so many more, the best exercise for you is the one you're going to do. So if yoga is your thing, do yoga. If belly dancing is your thing, do belly dancing. Try things and see what you like, because ultimately you're not going to keep up with it if you don't enjoy it. So find the joy in movement, find the exercise you love to do, and that's the best type of movement for you.
And it's also finding the best one that fits with your different body limitations. For me, I have a lot of pain in my feet. And so long walks are not great anymore, much to my dog's dismay. But it also was hard for me because I used to be a big walker with my dogs. And a few years ago, we finally got a spin bike, and I love it. I was really on it, and then I hurt my back. So I'm trying to find ways to get back into it, to strengthen my core again, so I can get back on my bike, because that was something I definitely made time for. But I definitely I'm going to join the challenge for next month, because I need motivation. And if I sign up to do something like that, and if I tell all of you out there that I'm going to do my challenge, then I'm going to do my challenge.
Well, we're excited to have you on in our challenge. And you're absolutely right. You have to know what your body can do and what you're comfortable with. One of the elements of Two Unstoppable is that we do focus on what we can do, knowing that each of us has had treatments, surgeries, things done to our bodies that change what we can do, how our bodies function. You know, like I said, I have these mobility issues forever. My left side will always feel different than my right. Some people, like you said, have neuropathy or other issues that cause them to be unable to walk distances, which is why some of the classes we offer a chair-based version or a floor-based version to enable somebody to still work on their strength, flexibility, their core, without stomping their feet.
Now, all this we've been talking about is really exercise after treatment, but is exercise okay? Well, you talked about it, that your oncologist recommended for you to do during treatment. Is that, obviously depends on your individual circumstances, but I would assume that's a good idea across the board if possible.
Yes, it is now recommended that even during treatment, you move as much as you can. And again, we have to be patient with our bodies. So there are going to be some days where we can't do it. We can't even walk to the mailbox. We're not feeling well enough. But on the days when you can move, it's great to try. You know, there are lots of books written about people who've gone through different experiences with cancer. And I remember reading one from an athlete who had been through cancer treatment, and she really wanted to keep moving. So her rule was, I will try for 10 minutes. If I'm not feeling it in 10 minutes, I will stop. I will give my body a break. I will be kind to myself. But often, if you just get moving, you feel better, and then you can keep moving. So it's worth trying. Sometimes you just have to say to yourself, let's just try. Let me just try 2 minutes. Let me just try 5 minutes and see how I do. And often you'll keep going after that.
Now, you already have a bevy of programs for women to choose from, but is there anything next on the horizon for Two Unstoppable, or just keep going through the amazing work you're doing?
So there are a couple of things that we are working on. One is we are working on offering more personal training. So if women can't find a class that fits for them, we want them to, if they would like to access personal training, we want them to find, again, an oncology certified specialist. So we now, even on our website today, we have a link to various directories, so you can find a certified professional on your own, but Two Unstoppable will soon be offering a form of personal training as well. Again, again, always on the virtual platform. We're also looking into offering exercise counseling. So a one-on-one conversation where we can help you determine what exercise is going to work for you, what programs are out there, whether they're ours or from other sources, that are going to work for you based on your personal physical needs, your what your preferences are. Like, do I like a yoga type thing, or do I like to run? By the way, I don't run. And also, like, what's your schedule like, right? Like, what are the demands on you during the week, and what's going to fit into your schedule? Because what we're looking for is to change your lifestyle behaviors for life. We're not looking for you to do this for 2 weeks. We want you to find a way, like I did, to make this a priority in your life, and to become one of those people who says to yourself, what are you doing for exercise today?
I love that, Michelle. That is the perfect way to wrap it up, because we are out of time. So really quickly, thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk about this topic. And I think it's really important for everyone to know how important exercise is for us.
It is. And you can find Two Unstoppable at twounstoppable.org. Social media on Facebook, it is Two Unstoppable. Instagram, Two Unstoppable to You. Highly recommend that for the little challenges they have on there. So again, Michelle, thank you so much. Listeners, if you need our support, you can find us at breastfriends.org. You can donate on our website or by texting BF Radio to 41444. You can find our show across many podcast platforms, also on the Voice America Health and Wellness channel. And now you can watch the new episodes on our Breast Friends YouTube channel. We will be back next week. And until then, remember, we rise by lifting each other.